highly determined young Mark Breland tonight.
And Volbrecht figures to try and run. Breland says that he will chase this man, Harold Volbrecht. Breland says Volbrecht is a combination boxer runner. Earlier, we asked Volbrecht if there was any pressure at all on him in South Africa concerning tonight's fight against Mark Breland.
Well, I had no pressure from anybody in South Africa fighting a black man, because most of my South African title fights was in black township. I've got more black followers in South Africa than whites. I've had no problem with the blacks in South Africa to fight against or fight in their hometowns, townships. So I had no problem coming, that I'm fighting a black.
Harold, at 30, currently lives in the countryside 25 miles from Johannesburg with his wife Chrissy and their 3 daughters. And unlike a lot of families who disdain the violence of the sport, Harold embraces boxing.
Well, my family loves boxing, especially my mother and my father. They are really crazy for boxing. But when I get home, the gloves is off, and then I'm a father at home, and I love to play with my kids, and we do a lot of swimming and cycling and do different things with them to get my mind off boxing for a while.
Well, actually, we see him at playing
about his own strength and his own conditioning, and he feels that Mark Breland just may be in for a bit of a surprise.
I'm very strong as a welterweight, and I feel like 19 years old. So I think I'm just in great condition. So I think he will be surprised when he fights me. Putting myself into Breland's shoes, I think about myself in 1980, when I fought for the world title the first time. Mark is very young. I think he hasn't got the experience I've got. And although Mark is a pretty good fighter, I believe, but I think my strength and experience will count.
Most fighters never get that first chance, but Harold Volbrecht is getting a second chance at a world championship. And he reflects on what may be his last opportunity at the big prize.
It's a great opportunity to fight for the world title. And as any boxer in the world would love to fight for the world title. And I think one day when you retire and you look back, then you think to yourself, I've set my goal in life, fought for the world title. This will be the second time. The first time I fought for Pino Cuevas in 1980. And I was a bit inexperienced. I've never been out of my country. That was the first time. And I've picked up a lot of experience since then. And I'm grown up now. And it's a different story.
Harold Volbrecht, 30 years old, out of Benoni, South Africa. Only 6 knockouts in his 43 professional fights. That was his documented record. He claims that he's 45-5-1. His last fight last September knocked out Mauricio Bravo in the 5th round, which he considers his biggest victory. His other major win, a 10-round decision over Carlos Trujillo of Panama. Volbrecht began his professional career back in November of 1975. Most of his fights have taken place in South Africa, where he won the South African welterweight title against opponents that cannot be considered top quality. And when he has met decent competition, he has been beaten. Earlier in his career, he was knocked out in the 2nd round by Pino Cuevas. And there's Mark Breland getting set to move out of his dressing room. Mark Breland starting to make his way. Dave Dials takes a close-up look at Mark, a boxer who has also dabbled in the world of acting.
Bobby Sykes, the next champion of the world. How you doing?
I've been better.
When Mark Breland portrayed boxer Bobby Sykes on a recent 2-part Miami Vice, he added another acting credit to his impressive career outside the ring.
Nothing. I'm ready to sign now. I figure you're the man who could do me the most good, win or lose.
Breland also co-starred in the motion picture Lords of Discipline and the Pointer Sisters music video Dare Me. Mark's career as an amateur had a storybook quality to it. 5-time New York Golden Glove champion, 1984 Olympic gold medalist, but turning pro was a different matter.
Coming into the pros and when I did not know one out, and like my first 4 or 5 fights were just straight decisions, and the people were whining and crying, hey, you're not doing this, you can't do this, what's wrong? And making that transition, I took my punishment in the gym, working with the jab and constant yelling of Joe, use the jab, put your hands up, you use the jab, put your hands up, do this, do that, do this. And it, started turning around. Once I started getting my positioning right and my jab started to work, things started to fall into place.
Other individuals may have been rattled by the hounding of the critics and the constant pressure for Breland to deliver the big knockout. But Mark, along with manager Shelley Finkel, never lost faith. Neither did trainer Joey Ferriello. But as Joey will tell you, it wasn't easy.
I had doubts. I had a lot of doubts. But the doubts later on, I attributed to the fact that I didn't know Mark. I didn't realize what a special person he was. Shelley, who knew Mark a much longer period than I, never had doubts. And I think that if you know someone, you have a lot more confidence in him.
Although, good uppercut, Chris. There's the uppercut. And there it was again. There it was.
Breland has silenced his critics. The turning point may have been his impressive 6th-round KO of undefeated John Munduga. Now there's just one man standing in Mark Breland's way, #1 ranked Harold Volbrecht of South Africa. And you have to wonder if there's extra incentive for Mark fighting someone from that troubled land.
He's just another person. I would never go over there to fight him, but I've gotten a lot of, I've ran into a lot of prejudice situations. But as far as Volbrecht, I have nothing against him. I mean, he's done nothing to me. I've done nothing to him, but come February 6th, I'll predict a knockout. This is the first time I've ever predicted a knockout in any fight. What round, I don't know.
And here comes 23-year-old Mark Breland out of the Bedford-Stuyvesant area in Brooklyn. Crowd of 3,200 at the Convention Center, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Mark Breland, who will attempt to become the first 1984 Olympic gold medalist for the United States to win a professional title. Evander Holyfield, a bronze medalist, won the WBA junior heavyweight title back in July, and here is Breland. Breland, who turned professional in November of '84, following that outstanding amateur career, winner of 5 New York Golden Gloves crowns, and then the Olympic gold in '84.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening, and it's the World Boxing Association vacant Welterweight Championship bout scheduled for 15 rounds. Is being promoted by Main Events and Monitor Productions in association with the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino. It's approved and sanctioned by both the World Boxing Association, the Honorable Gilberto Mendoza, President, and the supervisor in charge is Gonzalo Riveras of Venezuela, and by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, the Honorable Larry Hazard, Commissioner, and the Honorable Jerry Corley, Chairman, Nick D. Ballesteri, and Lawrence Wallace, Deputy Commissioners. The chief physician in attendance at ringside is Dr. Frank B. Doggett, along with Dr. Paul T. Williams and Dr. Stanley H. Eden. The judges for this championship bout from Panama, Nick Drake, all the way from Venezuela, Antonio Requina, and from Panama, Humberto Figueroa. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Teddy Pick. The timekeeper to bell is Lindsay Tucker. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of this scheduled 15-round World Boxing Association title bout, referee Tony Perez. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the orange and blue trim. He tipped in at 146 1/2 pounds. This gentleman has 37 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, with 6 knockouts. He is ranked number 1 by the World Boxing Association. All the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Harold the Hammer Volbrecht. Volbrecht. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white trim. He weighed in at an even 146 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 16 professional bouts with 11 knockouts. The 1984 Olympic gold medalist in the welterweight division, ranked number 2 by the World Boxing Association. From the Bed-Stuy section of Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Mark Breland. Breland.
Referee Tony Perez, and you saw the height advantage. Breland, 8-inch height advantage and a 9-inch reach advantage on Harold Volbrecht, who was not well received by this crowd. This is scheduled for 15 for the vacated WBA Welterweight Championship. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Freddie Pacheco from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Difference in size apparent right from the opening bell. Huge difference in height, although Breland is extremely thin. Look for Breland to come in with a heavy, hard jab to set up the right hand that he hopes to drop. Volbrecht and attain the championship.
Earlier, Harold Volbrecht, not noted for punching power, only 5 knockouts in his 43 professional bouts. Well, he claims he has improved his punching power since Carlos Giacomo began working with him.
Have improved by working in that garage that's printed on his trunk set. And never saw a fighter fight for the title that had a garage ad on his trunks.
Reach Breland. Volbrecht has to lunge, and we've seen a bit of that here in the early going.
And he will get hit with a counter right hand as he's lunging because Breland's very sharp with that right hand. There it goes right there.
Advertisement on the trunks of Volbrecht. He does work freelance as a machinist.
Is that why they call him the Hammer? Certainly not because of his boxing record.
It fits for him.
Absolutely.
I buy it.
They do cheap overhauls, but you got to go to South Africa to get it done.
The under a minute to go in this first round.
Breland, whose career has been marked by a great deal of patience, just waiting for that opening. He seems confident that he'll land it when it comes, and on Volbrecht's part, he seems content to just survive the first round. He's shown very little offensive spirit.
Breland's last fight last November, second round knockout of Orlando Orozco. Biggest win last June, stopping previously unbeaten John Maduga. The sixth round, and there, Volbrecht with the right.
Missing wildly, but at least showing a little anger and a little desire to mix it up.
And grazing the nose of Volbrecht.
And the style in which
Volbrecht. And Volbrecht did get the left hand in.
Take a deep breath. Jersey State Athletic Commission prohibits the use of flashbulb-type picture taking during any of the boxing events here in the state of New Jersey. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated.
One punch at a time.
Thank you. And this is the very lovely Angela.
Throw 2s and 3s, because you'll catch him in an exchange.
The bucket over there, Lou.
Yeah?
Instructions from trainer
be
Joe
patient.
Fariello.
Just keep the jab going out there, okay? And the other thing is, just throw 2s and 3s. All right, we're out, everybody.
As you may have picked up, Fariello telling Breland he should not throw just the one punch at a time.
and also in the style in which he told him, very patiently, very quietly. Breland is not the kind of man you can holler at. He will not stand for a lot of noise in the corner. So Fariello has calmed down and tells him very patiently what he wants him to do. A jab is going to be the key to this opening up for the right hand.
That was the problem earlier when Fariello was involved with Breland, and there was too much shouting in the corner, and as you say, he has calmed down considerably.
Well, when you have a man of Breland's skill and he tells you don't holler at me, you tend to listen.
Short left hand caught Volbrecht. If this does go to the scorecard, scoring is on the 10-point must. Handled by 3 judges. Referee Tony Perez does not take part in the scoring. 3 knockdown rule in effect. Standing 8 count in effect. And a fighter that can be saved by the bell only in the final round.
You should have noticed Breland's footwork. He's being extremely deliberate as he comes in. He's not dancing, he's not bouncing, he's being very deliberate. Watch his feet, because he is really placing himself to punch hard. It's just like wheeling in a big artillery piece. He's just putting it in place and hoping that you can get to fire it off. He's not bipping and bopping and dancing around. He is also not using the jab as much as his corner would like. There's a double jab there.
Caught Volbrecht with the counter.
Breland, in spite of having these long stick-like arms, throws a beautiful little inside uppercut as he comes in. Twice in the first round he caught him. This time he just caught him coming in. Those little uppercuts do damage on the way in. Perez, a world-quality referee, has refereed numerous title fights. Does not let them tie up for long. Makes them break up and go right back to fighting.
Breland also pointed out that he's been working on pacing himself for 10 and 15-round bouts, but get the feeling that is not his plan tonight. He would like to take care of Volbrecht as soon as possible.
But it is certainly not an all-out abandoned attack on the part of Breland. It's a really cautious, deliberate attack. And that's to Volbrecht's favor. He wants to rough him up. He wants to get in, get his head under his chin, and of course, that's where Tony Perez does his job well.
hook just missing, and Volbrecht throwing a punch following the bell. And here's it from the crowd. So that is the end of round 2.
I know it was right on the bell, but try to hear that bell and hold your punch.
That late flurry by Volbrecht. Let's go to Dave Giles.
Now, you want a guy who's a veteran fighter and a veteran campaigner who can slug it out, even with President Reagan. Speaker of the House, right?
Hi,
you're a
how
fight
are
fan?
You? Yes, I'm a fight fan.
And you're with Donald Trump. And what rumor can we start about that? That you're going to bring fighting to Texas, or you're going to bring a National Football League team here?
We've had fighting in Texas. We're glad for you to have a national football team here. There's good bouts tonight. Some of us flew up tonight after the House was out, and we're enjoying it.
Okay. Speaker Jim Wright, we asked Donald Trump, who owns the Trump Plaza next door where we're staying, to be on, and he, of course, said, "No, I'm trying to maintain a low profile."
Donald Trump working on arranging the parade for the America's Cup. Arranging the parade for the America's Cup victorious group.
Congratulations to those hardy bunch of sailors.
This is round 3. What does the fight doctor scorecard tell us?
It's so far been a sweep by Breland, 20-18, quite unofficially. I don't think anybody doubts that Breland won both, not by a 10-8 certainly, but a 10-9 edge. It's interesting right at the end of round 2, Volbrecht threw 2 big punches, one of which missed by a mile, the other one just grazed Breland, but at least they were thrown in anger and they were good punches. Whereas up to this point, Volbrecht has shown very little desire to mix it up.
Harold Volbrecht, 30 years old, out of South Africa. Trying to get Breland involved in a brawling affair.
His problem is he doesn't want to pay the toll to come in there, like he just did right there. Coming in, he knows he's going to get hit by either a straight right hand or those little uppercuts which drive your lower teeth into your upper teeth. Does not feel good. Now, putting the head under there, the way Volbrecht does, opens up the possibility of cuts. Cuts open up the possibility of losing this fight because you can't lose on a cut in New Jersey. So those are the things that you have to get nervous about when you think you've got a sure thing going to the title. There are no sure things in boxing. Well, it's over.
Breland landing with uppercuts off that last flurry. Holding, hitting by both boxers. This for the vacated WBA welterweight title. Breland slipped.
Again, an extremely cautious approach right to the target. Not dancing in, not bipping and bopping in with a jab. Not a lot of completely straight up fighting on the part of Breland. He is not even trying.
Final seconds, round 3. Again, the holding and hitting and the warning from the referee, Tony Perez. Let's go to the corner of Harold Volbrecht. Again, the holding and hitting and the warning from the referee, Tony Perez. Let's go to the corner of Harold Volbrecht.
Sam, your punch is going down. You're a little missing your punches because you went a little bit too high. All right? That's the only reason. Your left hand when he missed with right. Your left hand when he missed with right. Keep on moving to your left, but away that way. That's why he's catching you with uppercut because you're walking to him. All right? When he missed with the right hand, then is when you attack. All right? And put your punches here. Breathe. Put your punches here. Don't go to the hip. Go to here. And tie the body he doesn't like. All right? You see, he's not so cocky as in the first round. Huh? He knows he can go down, all right? Come on.
Manager-trainer Carlos Giacomo from Argentina in the corner of Harold Volbrecht. This fight being South Africa, and is also being seen in 30 countries around the world. This is round number 4. And we are very early in a fight that is scheduled for 15 rounds, and looks like Breland is trying to step it up now.
Down to business. There's that little uppercut coming in.
To this point, although Breland's certainly in front on the scorecard, he has not been able to solve Harold Volbrecht.
Well, there's been nothing to solve as far as fighting a straight defensive fighter. This is the first round where he's come in with some offensive power. He's throwing hard punches now, as Volbrecht. You must have listened to his corner, Giacomo, who told him Breland's getting dispirited. Now is the time to attack. You've got it. The kind of optimistic advice that led the Argentinians into the Falklands, I think. That's called leverage. A very tall Breland just spins him around whenever he gets blocked in the arms. Breland sort of nodded. He jabbed twice and got hit twice back with a jab. He sort of nodded and said, yeah, that's right. You did all right there.
By Breland. Amidst that flurry, one strong right hand to get into Volbrecht. Volbrecht back with a left. That jarred Breland.
That was a left hand there that buckled Breland momentarily. He tries to change up as Volbrecht left, right, left, and then come in. He's doing everything he can. He has had a very long career, and I think he's learned all of the lessons of ring warfare. He's trying to bring them all into play. There's that right hand. That's going to catch him all night long coming in.
And Breland with a good spin move on Volbrecht.
Breland's such a classy fighter, such a classic fighter that he has trouble with guys who have this monkey kind of style where he just jumps in like he just did right then. As all good fighters have. Ali had with difficult people, Joe Louis had with Arturo Godoy, Tommy Farr. Classic case in boxing.
Well, it's sloppy, it's awkward. Different type of situation, nothing clean and crisp.
Like playing tennis with a guy running all over the
So that is the end of round 5. Now Mark Breland and Harold Volbrecht at one time were scheduled to meet in what was called an elimination bout, with the winner to meet the WBA champion Lloyd Honeyghan. However, Honeyghan, who is black, also holds the WBC and IBF welterweight titles. He relinquished his WBA crown. He said he did not want to fight Volbrecht because of South Africa's apartheid government. And there are others who say that is not the real reason. That the real reason was he did not want to eventually meet up with Breland. So Breland and Volbrecht are meeting for the vacated title. And Breland said he would fight Volbrecht anywhere outside South Africa.
Marv, I didn't understand any of that. Would you repeat that again?
It's perfectly clear to me.
Took you a minute to say that, Marv.
Breland's people feel that Honeyghan was ducking him. People feel that Honeyghan was ducking him, ducking Breland. Honeyghan won the title with that surprising knockout of Donald Curry. Seen here on Showtime. It was back in February. And Honeyghan will defend his WBC and IBF titles against Johnny Bumpus in London. All right, Tony Perez telling Breland to go to the other corner. Some repair work.
I thought for the first time since Angelo discovered a broken ripped glove, we had a case of a ripped glove here. But it wasn't, it had too much Vaseline on it. A big blob of Vaseline flew across the ring and it So Tony correctly stopped, called timeout, and wipe off the glove.
Now the crowd coming to life as Breland looks to heat it up.
Did a little matador there, swung the bull from one side, swung him to the other, and speared him. But that head of Volbrecht is beginning to get the public to scream, watch that head.
Left hand by Volbrecht. Followed up on the combination. It's laughed off by Breland.
Was not a hard punch, but had that been a hard punch, boy, it could have been trouble for young Mark Breland. Can't shake that feeling somehow that we're on Showtime that's had so many upsets, and it's almost miraculous what's happened. This doesn't figure to be an upset. It's already sort of surprising that it's gone this way. So here we have Volbrecht. While he's not winning any rounds, at least he's in the competition. He's not folding his tent. He's trying to come on. He has lost every round, and officially I have him at 50-45 in the scoring. But no damage has been done.
And that counter left by Volbrecht. Mark Breland with that record of 16-0, 11 by knockout. He was a string of 7 consecutive knockouts, 3 in the first round, 2 in the second round. A chant of Breland from the crowd here in Atlantic City. It has not been an impressive outing thus far for Mark Breland. We'll stay with the corner of Mark Breland.
Mark, you gotta listen to me.
Hey, yo, I told him the same thing. Take it easy with that grease, huh? Please. Tony, watch his head, Tony. Right on the inside, he's doing it. That's it.
Come on, Mark.
Mark,
7th round.
you will never hit this guy with one shot the way you're trying to hit him, okay? You know that double right hand you practiced? You haven't used it once.
Come on now, Mark. Listen to
and
you.
you're just not throwing in 2s and 3s. You're kind of getting too lazy. You're getting too content with the fight the way it is, and you're sticking out the place. We got a lot of people here. Pick it up, all right? Throwing 2s and 3s, and then when you're pressing them back, use that good stiff jab. Come on now. I know what. Pick it up.
Come on, let's go with 2.
Pick it up.
Come on, let's go.
On to round 7. Marv Albert with the fight doctor.
Come on, let's go with 2. Take it out. Come on, let's go.
On to round 7. Marv Albert with the fight doctor. Bertie Pacheco. And same instructions in the corner of Breland. Mark Breland continues to launch, continues to reach, and not throwing combinations. Whether is there something physically wrong with Breland?
He's certainly not using his left hand the way he has been using it in his entire career. He's not fighting a two-handed fight. He's fighting a right-handed fight. And his corner said, you're not throwing the right hand the way we showed you in the gym, the way we trained for. Show me that right hand. I don't know what he could be talking about because he has flashed a very good right hand, right uppercut. He has used his right hand very well. Has Breland. Volbrecht getting a little braver as it goes on, and Breland seeming to lose interest in it in the last round. I had to give the round as an even round, although I really dislike even rounds, but it was sort of a blah kind of round.
As mentioned earlier, Breland has not had trouble with southpaws as an amateur, and as a pro, he did face only one southpaw, and he knocked him out of the first round. It was Ralph White.
I don't think the left-hand style is bothering him. He's too... Oh, he got hit with a nice little right hand over his left. He left that jab out there too long. is think about it. And that's not good. He was fighting instinctively at the beginning. He's starting to think about it. He thought about throwing the right hand. He held it in check. That's not brilliant.
Oh, there's the right hand. That's the most telling blow of the bout. And it buckled Volbrecht. And down goes Volbrecht. Just under a minute to go in the 7th round.
He's not getting up. He's quit.
It is all over. Mark Breland has won the WBA welterweight title, stopping Harold Volbrecht in round number 7. It took some time. Breland not able to solve the style of Volbrecht, although he had his way. Certainly well in front on the scorecard, but he was finally able to reach him with that right hand. And the official time, 2:07 of round 7.
And the disastrous other little sequelae of that knockout is that they cut, or Volbrecht has a cut on the right eye, which now is academic except for him. And he just couldn't do it. I think wise, I get what he stood down. That wasn't a quitting anymore. It was just a sort of, there's no point in getting up.
And here is another look at the knockout, the right hand.
Now, you could truthfully say that he won the welterweight championship with a right hand. This is a right-handed fight all the way.
And that was it for Harold Volbrecht. Here's the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of this bout, 2 minutes and 7 seconds of the 7th round, and a winner by a knockout, and the new World Boxing Association welterweight champion, Mark Breland.
Mark Breland becoming the first 1984 Olympic gold medalist from the United States to win a professional title.
Larry Hazard.
And here is the presentation of
Larry Hazard.
And here is the presentation of that WBA championship belt as we get a look from another angle.
Commissioner Hazard presenting the belt to the new champion. And his 17th
Volbrecht
straight win in his
put down and counted out at 2:07 of round 7.
Have a nice round of applause for Harold the Hammer Volbrecht. Let's hear it for him.
Well, this crowd not to
In the ring, a very crowded, jubilant ring with Mark Breland. You turned into a bit of a forecaster. This is about what you told me you thought you could do.
Right. Well, you know, he was very awkward. I couldn't get my jab off. Well, he said he was going to come right at me, and I expected him to run. And like I said, I have a lot of problems with runners. But I was throwing one punch at a time. Joe, everybody was saying, you know, throw 3s and 2s, 2s and 3s, 3s and 2s, throw a lot of combinations.
Couldn't find him that long.
And then once about the 6th, 7th round, I started catching him. And there it was. After I cut him, I said, I got to go at him.
He was hard to fight. He was awkward. It looked like, you know, the old saying, he can run, but he can't hide. It looked for a while like he indeed could hide.
Exactly. Well, I knew he wouldn't be able to hide too long, but after a while, I knew I'd catch up with him. He just was so awkward. He didn't know I don't think he knew what he was going to do.
Tell me about your left hand. You didn't use it much. Some may suspect
well,
that
it's
bothering you, though.
He kept bouncing back and forth. Then he would dip down with his head, and I didn't want to jab him.
Wasn't bothering
you? On top of the head.
No pain in your hand?
No, not at all. I hit him one time on top of the head. I did hurt the left hand one time.
Did he ever hurt you?
Down. No, he never hurt me at all. He hit me with a good shot, but really wasn't too much in it.
Mark Breland a year or so ago might not have been as patient a fighter. You might have become very frustrated in the ring. You're getting mature as a fighter, you tell me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, every fight, you know, I learned something from every fight. And this fight here, I learned, hey, when a guy is doing a lot of running, stay on top of him.
Who's next for you, Mark Breland?
I don't know. Right now, I want to spend a lot of time with my mother and my father and my old trainers and my new trainers and all my friends from Brooklyn.
And you'll have new friends now.
Oh, well, I don't mind. I'm a friendly person.
All right. Mark Breland, the new WBA champion. And let's return you now to two gentlemen whose voices and faces you regularly hear on the NBC network as they're boxing experts, Marv and Ferdy.
All right, Dave, and you're getting another look at Mark Breland concluding matters with Harold Volbrecht at 2:07 of round number 7. So Breland makes it 17-0, 12 of the victories by knockout, and he has now knocked out his last 8 opponents, although this one was not an easy one.
No, Volbrecht wasn't as bad as they thought, and Breland wasn't as good as he'd hoped. So somehow we ended up with the title in Breland, and let's go back up to Dave Dials.
Ferdy, thank you very much. You did make a fight of it for a while, and then the roof fell in.
Yeah, well, Breland has got a fantastic reach. I couldn't step inside, and he's got a good left jab, and he's quite hard with the right hand. He caught me in the early rounds on the ear, you know, and hit my jaw, and he caught me as good punches before they stopped the fight.
I thought a couple of times you had him blinking, perhaps not hurt. He says he wasn't hurt. Did you feel you hurt him?
I definitely hit him with one punch, which I think was over left hand, and I think I did hit him, but wasn't serious, and he fought back nicely.
What's next for you?
Well, I'm going to go home and decide what I'm going to do.
Does that leave open the possibility that you're not going to do any more fighting? You sound like you might be a little disgusted with yourself right now. You've had a couple of shots at it.
Yeah, I've had a bit of problems, and getting back to this fight, I had a bit of problems here in America.
Like what?
Well, we had a bit of, you know, we're not used to the cold, the snow, and those type of things. And but the better man won, and that's don't feel disgusted with myself.
You're a gentleman, and we wish you well.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to Marv and Ferdy.
All right, Dave, what do you see Ferdy as next for Mark Breland?
Well, I think he steps up now and tries to unify the title going in. The field is wide open for him. Really, he's such a charismatic young man. He is. You saw him tonight. He could have blown his cool there. He could have fought a desperate, reckless fight. Instead, he calmly, patiently fought his fight and knocked out his man. So he didn't knock him out in the first round, but he knocked him out later on in the 7th. So for me, a nice stepping stone for Mark Breland into the future. He is now the welterweight champion of the world, and that is what this young man's whole life has been pointed to.
All right, so that is it for us from Atlantic City. Marv Albert with the fight, Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, along with Dave Dials, saying so long for Showtime. This cablecast was a Sports Television International production. Executive producer Jim Spence. Tonight's show has been produced by Chuck Howard, directed by Frank Beezer, Associate Director Austin Rosberg. Don't forget, Showtime will present an encore presentation of tonight's telecast tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern and Pacific time. And Showtime Championship Boxing will feature WBA Junior Heavyweight Champion Evander Holyfield as he defends his crown later this spring exclusively on Showtime. This has been a presentation of Showtime Championship Boxing.
It's East.